Are you living your passion? What is your passion? Welcome to the Luxe Life Discovered podcast, where we talk with people who are living a lifestyle that reflects their passion, because we believe everyone should enjoy living their best life, their Luxe Life.
Hello, I'm Rick Steiner, back with another episode of Luxe Life Discovered. My co-host again is Lauren Hopkins. We're glad to have you today.
Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. And our guest today is Lindsey Pickenpaugh, who I was afraid I was going to butcher that last name, from Miss Newby's.
Yep.
But we're so glad to have you here.
Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Well, good. I know Lindsey from the Chamber and from the Beach Care Services Board and the events we're doing together. So let's just start with that. Let's start with your your history with Beach Care and how you got involved and what you do with them.
Sure. So my mother-in-law, Charlotte Newby, was on Beach Care Services for quite a few years. And she was ready to kind of retire. So she was like, what do you think? Do you want to step in my spot? And I was like, yeah, sure. No problem. 2 years later, I'm the vice president and loving it.
Right. You didn't know what she was really setting you up for. You thought she was being nice.
Yes, I had no idea what I was in for, but it's been a fun ride, and everything they do is just amazing. Giving 100% of everything raised right back to the community. I couldn't ask to be a part of a better organization.
Oh, it is good, and the board. I mean, there's such talent on that board and such experience and just the love for the community, because like you said, all the money raised for Beach Care Services goes back to locals in need. And
so anyone that lives or works on the beach side can get any kind of help from us, whether it be an electric bill, a rent, garbage, or even just like a little trolley bus, or if they need some gas to get to a work interview. That's what we're here to do. We're here to help people that actually live and work in Panama City Beach. None of the money goes out of the beach.
Yeah, and that's just really, I don't know, are you familiar with them very much?
I am, because of Shannon, obviously.
Okay,
and I work for Nate's Sanitation Coastal Waste and Recycling Company, and we're actually going to be one of your donators for this year. I think we're the sponsored
for the
dinner.
Yes.
So I'm a little familiar with it, and it's super exciting, and I think it's really cool to have the legacy of the people that have been involved with it, and that's built a pretty good foundation in the community. So I think it's super special.
Yeah,
we have basically we have business owners, we have chamber members, we have people in the banking industry, and attorneys, any walks of life. We have all different areas on our board, so it gives a nice little melting pot of ideas.
Right, and these board members work the events too. I mean, that's one thing about it. They're very involved. They're not just like take a seat on a board and then they don't do anything. You know,
it's not a resume builder kind of board.
Yeah.
It's
they roll up their sleeves
get
and
an
they
action
work.
board.
Yeah. So in fact, I'm one of the event planner helping them with some events this year, and I've been impressed because it's like I'd like to have some of you guys on my team, because it's like you're doing such a good job.
We're trying to get you away and come be on the board.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
Trying to reel me in slowly but surely. Well, now you're in charge of the duck races, which unfortunately, because of COVID, we've had to postpone a couple of times. But so it will be in the spring.
Yes, we are planning on May 10th, God willing, and we hope that we're going to be able to do it, because for the past 2 years we have, due to the rise in COVID cases, not been able to do it. But so far, I think we've, knock on some wood, the COVID cases have been able to stay at bay here in Bay County. So we're hoping that it goes through.
Okay, and for the people that have no clue about duck races, tell them because it's so much fun.
So if you like to see grown men and women riding around on big blow-up pool ducks around a pool, racing each other for bragging rights, this is your event. We have cocktails, we have food from usually about 20 to 25 different restaurants here in Bay County. And it's just a really fun time, and it's a great way to raise a lot of funds for Beach Care.
Right. And then also is it the firemen and the policemen that usually have the biggest draw as far as the races go? Is that right?
Yes, they have the biggest, I would say, record of going against each other.
Okay.
And then comes the radio stations and the TV stations. They come in a close second, but the firemen, they whip off their shirts and do a nice little show. So it's a good time.
I know some Navy divers and EOD techs over here that may be able to put on quite the show for you.
Yeah, we need to get the Navy.
I was going to say, I think they'd love that.
Yes.
Well, we need a team. They need to have a team.
I'm going to be calling you.
I'll get you one. You can't have them back. Can't give them back though. Once I give them to you, you're stuck with them.
They're like, you're done with them. That's great. It's like she has an ulterior motive too, as well. So sounds like
I could see that. I could pick that up a little bit.
All right, and then tell us about Miss Newby, because that's like a staple of the area.
To say so.
Yeah. So tell us all about.
If you've ever been to Panama City Beach on spring break for the last 30 plus probably years.
This episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Steiner Event Group. Steiner Event Group is a national event planner that produces results for their clients. They offer event and wedding planning on any scale, hosting bridal shows, scouting talented models, and producing riveting concept photo shoots to help their clients expand their brands, products, and services. Whether you're a business professional aiming to take your brand to the next level, planning a corporate or private event, a bride seeking to have the wedding of your dreams, or a model ready to be discovered, Steiner Event Group is ready for you.
Yeah, well, almost 48.
Yeah,
is it
48
really?
years.
Wow.
Yeah,
you've been to Miss Newby's.
We would like to hope
exactly.
You have. So we're a bar inside of a liquor store, which pretty much I don't even think exists in the country anymore. All of our walls are the package area, and then we have a bar to sit at. We also have a patio bar and an upstairs bar and 2 other locations. My mother-in-law's mother, Melva Newby, started the business back in 1975, and it has expanded to 2 other bars as well, so total of 3. She was one of the first liquor store owners in all of Bay County and maybe even Florida, but don't quote me on that. So, and she built the business to what it is today, and now we're on 3rd generation, hopefully 4th. With my son, so it's a real family-owned, family-operated business. Most of our bartenders have been with us for 20 plus years.
That speaks a lot about the.
Yeah. So our little saying is, once you become part of our business, it's not like you're an employee; you are actually family.
Right.
Like we try to take care of you like you are actually in our family.
Well, something that stuck out from then, you said it's 48 years almost, 75. Right. I graduated from high school in 77. So I was kind of like, wow, that really puts it in perspective. So,
it is, yeah.
But
really
that is, and to be able to survive all the different changes in Panama City Beach over that time, because we've gone from, Panama City being small and growing to the MTV days, and now we're back to the family, more family atmosphere. So there's been a lot of changes that the bar has seen and been through.
Yeah, we just kind of try and ride the wave, Right. One thing you can count on is if people have money, they want to drink, and if they don't have money, they still want to drink.
That's true. Yeah.
It kind of works out for us a little bit.
Or to drown their sorrows.
Yeah, exactly. So, and besides the brief time we had to close due to COVID, we are open 365 days a year and only closed for 3 hours a day. 7 a.m. to 4 a.m. we're open every day.
Is that illegal?
No, we wouldn't. To my knowledge, we wouldn't have to close. We just do so we can clean the place.
Well, just take a minute.
Well, there's so many different rules and stuff. I just thought, well, who would have come up that you had to have those 3 hours closed?
Right, and people are amazed that they're like, wow, 7 a.m. I'm like, yeah, we have people knocking on the door. Those 3rd shift workers, that's their nighttime, you know?
That's true, yeah.
Get some Bloody Marys, some mimosas, and have a good time.
Well, when I was in college in Mississippi years ago, where Mississippi State is in Starkville, you could have package stores, but you couldn't sell beer in the county, but you had to be 21 or over. And at Ole Miss that time, their county, you could buy beer, but you couldn't buy it cold. And I guess they didn't think you'd ice any down before you needed more. So so all the different things, and and they're the other states that have really odd, you're thinking, who thought of that, and what were the circumstances that led to that?
I'm from Georgia, so for the longest time, you couldn't buy any liquor or beer on Sundays. You could only go to a restaurant and sit at a bar, and that was after 12 o'clock you could drink. I'm not sure if it's still that way. I haven't lived there for probably about 15 years. But, they had some little quirky rules like that as well.
Right. There are a lot of areas where Sunday you can't buy on Sundays. Still.
Yeah, that Bible Belt.
Yeah, they're right. Of course, they're all going there. That's a whole different story. They're all out of town.
Right.
In fact, our little town where we live, it was a dry county. And then some restaurants came in, then you could drink, but the sales had to be equivalent to like a percentage to the food, that type thing. And then there was this group that started this underground movement to get the package stores in. And so, you have, the one group against it completely, and then the other group, they're very vocal, that group. And then the other group is very low key. And so my son is like 3 months before he goes to law school, we get these invoices to that group, that's the underground group. And Debbie and I are talking about it, and we're like, well, they've got our address by mistake or something, because why did we get invoices? And my son's like, I'm the one that started that. Oh. I'm like, great, we're going to be like kicked out of the church. And then he went to law school and, didn't have to suffer anything, but my wife
left you behind.
Right, yeah. But my wife did tell him, she goes, thanks to you, your dad doesn't have to drive 30 minutes to get his wine anymore. It's just real convenient.
There you go. There you go.
But it is amazing, though, the different areas and just laws and things that just are the quirkiest when it comes to that sometimes.
It's funny to watch someone that's never been to Miss Newby's walk in the front door, because you just see them stop and look around, and they don't understand where they're at. They're like, wait a second, I thought I was coming to a bar, or wait a second, I thought I was coming just to get my liquor and leave. And we're like, no, you can do both if you want.
Well, I was saying, I met when I was meeting the guys from Inland Beach at
Newby's Brew and Booze house.
Yes.
Yeah, that's.
And so I kind of had that. I walked in. I'm like, well, this is not the right place, because this is a package store. And then I see the coffee bar, and everything back in the back. So it was interesting to say, because but it's a neat concept. So how did that originate?
Our love of coffee and our love of liquor.
but I mean, the package stores in.
That was all Melva. She's the one, or to my knowledge, she is the one that started it, and I don't know of many other places in the country that are still allowed to do that. Right. We're lucky. We live in Florida and in Bay County, and they have not separated it yet.
Well, it's probably still be a grandfather. I guess we have to call it grandmother clause in her case.
Yeah.
So, and that's really something that she's the one that started that, because that's back when women didn't do a lot. I don't mean that ugly, but you know what I'm saying? So she was really a pioneer in many ways.
Yeah. Oh, she was a character. She beat to her own drum, sort of say, and she was not going to let anyone. From what I know, unfortunately, I was not able to meet her. She passed away before I came into the family. But all the stories I hear is no one was standing in her way. And if you tried to, you might get run over.
Well, and that's probably why she was so successful, because I'm sure she faced a lot of things that we have no clue what she was up against in some cases.
Yes.
So
definitely. Yeah. I wish I had some stories, but none that I can tell on a podcast.
All right, we'll talk later. No.
Yeah. Well, and I love, so you were talking about, they have coffee and the liquor store at the one location, but the Newby's location, which is, right off of Thomas there, that one has a cool concept, because you have the store, and then when you walk in, you have the billiards, and a lot of times you'll see more motorcycles there, and it's a different crowd. But then you go upstairs, and it's like a lounge, and it's totally two different probably styles of people that would be all in the same building and all enjoying each other's company. But
that's interesting.
And then even on the back of the bar of the lounge is more sometimes hip hop in a sense. So I mean, it just caters to so many different needs.
With By the Sea Resorts, you have so many options, you never have to settle. By the Sea Resorts offers 5 restaurants and 11 hotels where you can enjoy the sights and the sounds of the Gulf, spread out in spacious guest rooms, or book your next event or meeting in one of our many customizable spaces. For dining, we're serving up sunshine and good times at all 3 of our Barefoot restaurant locations, or experience waterfront dining at the Shrimp Boat Restaurant, and enjoy live entertainment every weekend at House of Bourbon. By the Sea Resorts, we're saving you a front row seat.
We always say you could sit at the bar and you could be sitting, a 21-year-old, because you want to know about 21-year-old, could be sitting next to to, you could sit next to a beach bum, you could sit next to an 80-year-old man, you could sit next to a millionaire. You just never know.
Sometimes they all look the same.
They do.
They do. You really can't.
Yeah,
They actually all look the same.
Yeah, and so and we try to have we try to have something for everyone. So like the coffee lounge or coffee bar, which is Newby's Brew and Booze. We have coffee, and then we have the craft cocktails. We have the wine on draft, which not a lot of places have any, right?
Okay.
And so that's more of like a little upscale place. Then we have the original Miss Newby's, which inside you can throw darts, sit and chat. Outside we have live bands, and then upstairs we have the lounge as well as a DJ if you want to cut a rug. And then and then Newby's 2 is all dedicated to sports. We have 39 TVs. Wow. We have 5 pool tables, darts, shuffleboard, anything sports related. That's where you go, and they are all non-smoking now. A lot of because for the longest time we were you could smoke in our bars, but we have since COVID done non-smoking, and that was so we could get a food license.
How has that gone? Well, of course, you had to get
I personally think it's great. Yeah. No, about 99% of the customers love it. Because you don't really want to come out of a bar smelling like smoke. And even smokers would say that. Yeah. So 99% have loved it. There is that 1%, that still was like, I don't want to go outside and da-da-da. Yeah. I'm like, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's Florida, though.
Yeah,
it's always like beautiful out. So.
I know. True, and I said, look, it's either we could be non-smoking and be open, or we could be have you smoking and not be open, because we had to do non-smoking in order to get a restaurant license in order to be open during COVID. So I was like, what do you want Miss Newby's to still be open? And 100%, they're like, yes.
Yeah. So they don't mind doing that after all. So
right.
Yeah. Well, that's good. And that, again, another rule that you wouldn't have thought of until COVID hit, and making the adjustments accordingly.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you have to do. If you want to survive as long as Miss Newby's has, you have to, do your tweaks. We've updated everything. We've updated every bar now. And it no longer has dirty carpet, nice wood floors, just little tweaks, but it still has the nostalgia.
Yeah. Well, good. I think that's another location shoot. We were talking every time somebody's been on today. It's like, we need to take this on the road. So
hey, you're welcome to come on over. You'll get plenty of characters.
That's true.
You might want to come in the morning, not in the evening. It gets a little wild.
That's true.
We'll need about a 4-hour podcast for that day
right.
to cover. Yeah.
And lots of edits.
So what some of the wild, not your family stories, but like customers at the bar, is there anything that's like been just totally crazy?
Well,
I'm not talking about just wildness. But
well, when the MTV show Florida Bama Shore was here, they shot for 2 years at our place. Those got wild. Everything
really?
You see on TV is how they are in real life.
That's
so that's been some crazy time. Bike Week is you would think it would be insane, because we get between, it could be up to 5,000 people in our parking lot during Bike Week. But I will say the bikers are the most generous, nice, friendly people that you would ever meet. And I didn't know anything about the biker culture until I got into the family and into Miss Newby's. But I was very pleasantly surprised. So yeah, they're great. We love them. They come every fall and every spring. It's young kids, they get a little too much. They have a little too much hunch punch.
Yeah.
But we just tap them on the shoulder, be like, hey, tonight's not your night. Come back tomorrow night. You're welcome to come back. We open at 7 a.m.
That's right. Kind of sleep this off.
Right. Yeah. And some have slept in their cars. We're very big proponents on, not the drinking and driving.
Right.
We'll pay for a cab for anybody that's too inebriated and can't drive home. And your car's safe in our parking lot. We have 1 million cameras everywhere. So.
And it's not just the young people that get that.
No, you would be surprised. You would be surprised. I'm like, aren't you like 60 years old? Have you been out and about?
That hurts. Yeah.
We just assume by then you've at least had your first drink.
Right.
That's true, yeah.
And that you know how to conduct yourself in public.
Not discriminating. We just assume by then you've dabbled.
Right, yeah. But most of it's just harmless fun, you know. Every now and then you get the unruly one. But most of it, we know everyone's just having a harmless fun and just had maybe just a tiny bit too much or not eaten enough. And we just, like I said, come back tomorrow. You're more than welcome. But tonight. And
it's good that they have that place to go to have someone that watches out for them a little bit. You know what I'm saying? That cares about.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Our security is one of the strictest, I would say, on the beach as far as protocol and helping and watching out for this day and age, for girls getting scooped or anything like that can happen this day and age. But our head of security, he's amazing. He trains the guys every Thursday. They come in for training, so they're always up to date on the right protocols and how to talk to people. And God forbid, if you do have to take someone down, how to do it properly without getting yourself hurt or them hurt. So we try to go, the extra mile.
So this is your own security team
that we pay for. Yep.
Wow. Okay. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
So
there's all little details that people don't even know about, but we do, and we have a great relationship with the police and the law enforcement here in Bay County. We do our best to keep everyone safe and have a safe environment.
Well, that's good. That's really interesting. Yeah. Things that I hadn't thought of, like the on security team, but it just protects you in the long run too.
Right, yeah. Because ATF's out to get you sometimes, so you got to make sure you're checking all those IDs.
All those boxes.
Right. Oh, and I'm sure you still get the ones that come in that try to get in that shouldn't.
Oh, we have bags and bags of fake IDs.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Now, have you guys, so majority of your properties are kind of on that east end. Mm-hmm. Have you guys considered branching as the west end is developing and coming up, spreading your wings? And
this episode of Luxe Life Discovered is brought to you in part by Orville's Men's Store. Thank you, Orville's Men's Store, for supplying the men's clothing for today's podcast. For the absolute best in casual and dress wear for men, visit orvillesms.com. That's ORVILLESMS.com.
Yeah, it's been thought about, and also with downtown Harrison Avenue and the downtown revitalization that's been thought of. But right now, it's just me, my husband, and his brother that are running it, as well as our Maggie Johnson, who is our main manager over at the brew house. So it's kind of just us four. And that's a lot for just 4 people to be running these 3 businesses. 3 properties,
4 people. I think you need one more.
Well, I have a son, and I'd like to have a life.
Those details.
Yeah, those minor details of seeing my husband or my child. No, it's definitely never out of the question if the right opportunity presents itself. But right now, we're good. We're good right now. I am good. Right now.
In other words, no.
Yeah. No. Charlotte is no. Charlotte's like, if you guys want to do something, then go ahead. But for me, I am no.
Retired.
That's
great. She's retired. She's like, I've put my time in, which she has. She's done over and beyond. She deserves to rest and relax.
Right. Well, she's has it in good hands. And that makes a big difference.
So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what? Not expanding to another location. What do you think are some plans for Miss Newby's that you might want to see happen? Is there anything that you haven't done yet that you would like to do?
Sure. So me and my husband and so his name is Will, and then his brother Wes. Our future goal is we want to patent Hunch Punch and be able to sell it across the country. So we're working on it. It's not an easy process, especially now with COVID. So yeah, we're gonna. That's what we're working on. So to be continued.
That's neat.
I think that for all the people who come here and enjoy it, they would love to.
We get so many calls. Can you ship a gallon? And we're like, no, we can't. Well, we're working on it.
Yeah.
So is this your own special?
So yeah, so Hunch Punch is. It's a secret family recipe. Melva and Charlotte made it up together when Charlotte came back from FSU from college. And I can tell you the liquor that's in it, but the actual mix, only about 6 people know.
Seriously?
And only about 4 or 5 people know the actual recipe. But it's Everclear, vodka, and rum. and then a secret family sauce. So that's red and will stain everything. So beware.
Right. So, and when did this, back when you said your mother-in-law came back from college.
Yeah. So
she enjoyed her college days.
Yeah.
We'll
right.
She was working very hard.
And doing research.
Taste testing.
Yes. And it took a few batches to really like get it where they wanted it. But yeah, so far we sell it in gallons and half gallons to go, and then we also, of course, sell it behind the bar.
Okay.
But it's kind of the go-to for anybody that has never been to Miss Newby's. But we always say, drink 2 of them, stand up, make sure you can still walk around.
Now, do you have a cutoff on how many one person can consume?
We really just, because everyone's body handles alcohol differently. So we, after 2, we check on them, But I mean, we have seen some people drink, 4, 5, 6 of them,
Oh my goodness.
But obviously they're not driving home. But we all, we just keep an eye on those that are drinking the Hunch Punch for the first time.
When you say Hunch Punch, it makes me think about college days. I was at Simcoe University of Arkansas, and in the middle of the courtyard were these like huge they had to be larger than that, but just like trash buckets, plastic. And that's what we mix our Hunch Punch in. And I'm looking back now, I guess there was enough alcohol that killed anything.
Super sanitary. Super.
The things we did in college,
I know.
I think everyone had their version of Hunch Punch in college, for sure.
Big cooler.
Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah. We did it in a cooler.
Cool. That'd be way too sanitary. No, get the garbage cans. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm glad to be where I am in life. And, and then, of course, when my children went to college, I was like, I think, I'm thinking about something when I'm saying that, and it's what I was going to say was that I was so dead set on things they weren't going to do that I had done. And then when I was thinking that just then, what it made me think of is that usually the people that are the most strict were the ones that were so wild when they were growing up because they know, what they're
I went to a private Baptist college that was a dry town. And that's some of the most wildest people I've ever met in my life.
My wife went to a little Baptist college her first year, and if you weren't home by like 10 o'clock on Friday night, they closed the gates to the campus. And so, they'd have to stay out all night somewhere because they didn't. Because if you go back, you'd get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And
because if you went to so I went to a place called Gardner Webb. It's in North Carolina. You were either there to played sports, which is why I went, or you were there to become a pastor. So 2 very opposite lifestyles being smashed together. It was quite interesting.
So what sport?
I actually played 2. I played volleyball and I ran track.
Okay, good deal.
Yeah,
good deal.
It was
an
fun.
Athlete and brains and beauty and the whole thing.
Hey, I just needed a full ride, so wherever, that's where I went.
That will make a difference.
Exactly, exactly. Help the parents out.
No doubt. Well, believe it or not, our time is up already. This is just like going so fast, but I do appreciate you being here today and look forward to working with you on the duck races and promoting Miss Newby's any way I can. Maybe you have to go by and
I think we'll have to taste test.
Yeah,
we can't really do a good job unless we're fully immersed in the situation.
Really get the feeling of it.
We'll do the Hunch Punch and then do our show one day.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have fun with that.
We'll do 6 shows, and we'll judge on how many we can have, how many you can have, how many I can have, and
see who slurs first.
That's true. That's a good challenge. And we might even let Shannon in on that.
But goodness.
All right. Well, thanks again for being here. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast.
Thanks. All right, I'm Rick Steiner, and that's another edition of Luxe Life Discovered, and we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support our show, leave us a review. That's the #1 way to help this show reach others just like you. Join us next time for another Luxe Life Discovered.